So hello guys, welcome back to the last part of this video of the chapter which is indigo. So far in fact in 3 videos we in fact covered a great part of this chapter. Especially I would like to repeat what we studied in previous video. We in fact had studied that how Gandhi ji confessed himself guilty. Nevertheless, judge in fact did not give him punishment, finding a mass support outside of the court. So in fact he allowed him to go without submitting bail. After that, Gandhiji made a detailed plan with other prominent lawyers of Champaran and adjacent area. First of all, lawyers were confused about their duties. They in fact told that what would be their role if Gandhiji is arrested, if given imprisonment. So Gandhiji in fact asked what about their duties towards sharecropper. In fact, then they realized Gandhiji, despite being an outsider, was ready to go to prison. So it was their moral duty to follow him. Then they made a detailed plan, deciding that how every group would go for court arrest if Gandhiji is sentenced. In fact, what happened? This condition did not happen because Gandhiji's case was dropped. And after that, Gandhiji met the Lieutenant Commissioner. Lieutenant Commissioner made an inquiry committee having 3 parties: government officials, representative of landlords, and third, Gandhiji, the only representative of poor farmers. So many evidences had already been presented which were presented before the inquiry committee, and ultimately British landlord had to bow before Gandhi. They had to bend before Gandhiji because they did not have anything to prove in their favor. So ultimately they agreed to repay the amount, but how much amount was to be repaid, that was the question. So this is what we had studied in previous video. Now let's go ahead. So see, the official inquiry assembled. The official inquiry assembled, crushing mountains of evidence against the big planters. So many, evidences were there against the big planters, means against the big landlords. And when they saw this, they agreed in principle as a rule to make refunds to the peasants. Now, when their cleverness, craftiness had been caught, they were left with no option, so they had to repay money. Alright, but how much amount was to be repaid? But how much must repay? They asked Gandhiji. They thought he would demand repayment. They thought Gandhiji would ask for 100% repayment in full of the money which they had illegally and deceitfully, cheatingly extorted, got from the sharecropper. It was their assumption that Gandhiji would demand 100% repayment. But to their surprise, Gandhiji asked only 50%. He said, let's do one thing, let's give 50%. There he seemed adamant. It looked that Gandhiji would not go down from 50%. He would in fact get stuck to this amount of 50%. So what they did, they in fact once again tried to play a clever trick. How? Right Reverend J.Z. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran, who observed the entire episode in close range. He in fact observed the whole happening from very proximity, nearness. So he in fact realized, he has mentioned that it looked that Gandhiji wouldn't go down from 50% amount. So what in fact landlord did, they again played a clever trick. How? Thinking probably that he would not give way, the representatives of the planter offered to refund to the extent of 25%. So this was the clever trick. They in fact offered to give only 25%, thinking that Gandhiji would not accept 1/4 amount. Fine. So in this way the case would get stuck once again. Alright, once again Gandhiji would be compelled to go to court, and of course going to court means spending many years in this process. So this was their clever trick, to get stuck the cases they in fact decided, they offered to give only 1/4 part of that money which they had extorted from Indian peasant. And to his amazement and to his surprise, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word. It means accepted his proposal, thus breaking the deadlock. So there had taken place a deadlock, a pause in conversation, in the advancement of the process. Gandhiji, by accepting 25%, broke that deadlock. And everyone was surprised how Gandhiji could go for only 1/4 amount. They thought that this was unfair with poor peasant. But see, we would get to know how it in fact shows the far-sightedness of Gandhiji's intelligence. This settlement was adopted unanimously. Unanimously means all three parties got ready to this proposal by the commission. Gandhiji explained that amount of the refund was less important than the fact that the landlord had been obliged to surrender part of money and with part of the prestige. So this was Gandhiji's reason for taking such decision. For Gandhiji, money did not matter. What mattered there, that by giving money, the British landlords were openly confessing. What they were confessing, that they were cheaters. They were, they were not loyal. They were not faithful. They extorted money from Indian peasants deceitfully, cheatingly. So by submitting the money, it was open confession of British landlords about their being cheaters. And second thing, they were submitting their prestige, their respect with this also. So this was the main intention of accepting 25%. See, it's quite obvious. One, you confess something wrong you have done. You are in no position to replicate, to copy, to repeat the same crime. So this was, understanding, insightfulness of Gandhiji. He had realized that how Gandhiji was forcing them to accept that they were wrong. They were cheaters. And once it gets proven, they would never be able to repeat the same. Therefore, as far as the peasants were concerned, the planters had behaved as lords above the law. So far, these planters had considered themselves God above the law. Like, it looked that there wasn't any law, any rule for them. But now, with this confession that they earned money wrongly, they would in fact be bent before the law by Gandhiji. Now, the peasants saw that he had rights and defenders also. Alright, he learned courage. And of course, when you are defenders, you learn courage. How? Let's exemplify. Like, a particular child is there. Alright, he is going on road. If there are some bullies who come and threaten him, bully him, alright, so what happens? That child would be frightened because he does not have defender. But next time he has support of his 50 friends. 50 is great number, 20 friends. And in front of him 5 are there. So if those 5 children bully him, he would have courage of having support of 20 children. And now he would give them a befitting reply. He would threaten them. So when we have defenders, protectors, of course it makes us courageous, gallant. So the very same thing was there with peasants. They got to know that they had support. Alright, they had supporters as well as support. So this made them courageous. Even justifies Gandhiji's position. And aftermath happenings proved that how Gandhiji was right. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned, left their estate, their property, their land, which reverted to the peasant, which were given back to the peasant. Indigo sharecropping disappeared, and it got completely disappeared because now those planters were not there. They had left their plantation because now Indian peasants were not ready to be cheated by them. Alright, they were giving befitting reply. Alright, they had become courageous, and this was the reason, British landlord had to leave their property, their estate, and in fact that's the same was given to Indian peasants. Gandhi never contented himself with large political or economic solutions. Here, student, in this paragraph, we would understand, Gandhism, the style of Gandhi's working. There are political leaders, who are always satisfied with high-fi solutions. But for Gandhiji, eradication of problems from root level was a style of working. This is what is called Gandhism. Let's see some glimpses of this style. How? See, contented himself with large political economic solution. He saw the cultural and social backwardness in the Champaran villages and wanted to do something about it immediately. What he found that Champaran was very backward area, socially as well economically. So he decided to uplift the standard of this area. So what he did? He appealed for teachers. He appealed for teachers to come there for teaching the students of Champaran. Madhav Desai and Narhari Parekh, two young men who had just joined Gandhi as disciples, as followers, and their wives volunteered for the, what is called volunteer, to give free social service is called volunteer. Like there are students, they become volunteer all right in school. They help school in maintaining discipline, decorum. So there were people who were Gandhiji's disciple followers. They in fact decided to give their helping hand, in teaching the student voluntarily. Several more came from Bombay, Pune and other distant far parts of the land. Devdas, who was Gandhi's youngest son, arrived from ashram, and so did Mrs. Gandhi, Kasturba Gandhi as well. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages. Kasturba taught the ashram rules on personal cleanliness. She taught how to maintain hygiene and personal cleanliness and community sanitation, and how should we maintain community sanitation. Student, if you go into the depth of these actions of Gandhi, it shows that how his style was different from big political leaders. He was not there for these works. He had come there, for sorting out the problem of indigo sharecropping. That's what he sorted, but at the same time, when he eyed other problem of that area, he decided to eradicate them as well. So it shows that he did not believe in great political problem for him. All the problems related to main problem were actually problems. So this was the reason he always went for them and he always tried to eradicate them. Health conditions were miserable. Gandhi got a doctor to volunteer his services for 6 months. So Gandhi, of course, he was a prominent, influential person. So this was the reason he brought a doctor also to give his service for 6 months. 3 medicines were available: castor oil, quinine and sulfur ointment. Anybody who showed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. Fine. Anybody with malaria fever received quinine plus castor oil. Anybody with skin eruption received ointment plus castor oil. So this castor oil was of course panacea. Panacea, a medicine which is used in almost every disease, or which is a solution of all the diseases. We say panacea in the Rambad Ilaj. So that was Rambad Ilaj. Gandhi noticed the filthy, dirty state of women's clothes. He asked Kasturba to talk to them about it. One woman took Kasturba into her hut and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes. The sari I am wearing is the only one I have." So it shows that how the people of Champaran were stricken with abject poverty. This kind of poverty is called abject extreme poverty. Alright, women did not have even 2 pairs of sari to wear. During his long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram. So how, he was a perfect leader, able to supervise every task equally. He was in Champaran, but he had not forgotten about his own, land of ashram. He was in fact keeping an eye on the happenings of Sabarmati ashram also. He sent regular instruction by mail and asked for financial accounts, like money was there or not. So he kept on confirming the same. Once he wrote to the residents, the locals, that it was time to fill in the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. My God, this is the topic generally people do not in fact talk about. They find it very disgusting. But Gandhiji keenness was of different level. He in fact was thinking about the tanks which are dug, for in fact excreta, for tea. So Gandhiji realized that those tanks were on the verge of filling. So now the high time was there to dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would start smelling badly. So see how he in fact kept everything in his mind. Those topics which are never thought were decent by the people, Gandhiji never had any kind of embarrassment about them. In this respect, I would like to add one thing. Of course, he was the very first person who emphasized the need of cleanliness. And following his path, of course, Mr. Modi is there, who in fact spread this cobweb of toilet across the country. Like he tried to get toilet built almost in every village, and so he is the second person I find who in fact understood the need of cleanliness so deeply. Otherwise, Gandhiji was the very first person. After that, so many great prime ministers came, but they never valued this topic of sanitation so intently the way it was needed. See now, the Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. What I did, he explained, was a very ordinary thing. I declared the British could not order me about in my country. To see how a little statement became a principle of such big decision making. The only reason he got to protest this happening was that this is my country. And in my country, no one else, especially an outsider, is not supposed to order me. So this became a keynote which in fact allowed him to launch this indigo movement against British landlords. But Champaran did not begin as an act of defiance protest. It grew out of an attempt to alleviate and distress large number of poor peasants. Alright, to remove and distress means hardship of large number of poor peasants. This was the typical Gandhi pattern. This was working style. His politics were intervened, mean twisted, interwoven with the practical day-to-day problem of the millions. How? What we studied on previous page, that he brought doctors, volunteers. So in this way, his working style, which is called Gandhism, was interwoven with people's day-to-day problem. He was not a loyalty to abstraction. Like there are people, political leaders, who always wish to create abstraction, hindrances, obstacles. His working style was not as such. It was loyalty to living human being. His working style was loyal to human being. He always worked for them. In everything Gandhi did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free Indian who would stand on his own feet and thus make India free. So he made people realize how they were powerful without any tool. In the wake of the same, he in fact injected great audacity in every person. Early in Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist, a person who works for peace is called pacifist, who had become a devoted follower of the Mahatma. So how Mahatma Gandhi had, global followers. His followers were from different parts of the world. So one such was Andrew Freer, came to bid Gandhi farewell before going to a tour of duty in Fiji Island. So he was going to Fiji Island. He came to meet Gandhi the last time. Gandhi's lawyer friend thought it would be a good idea for Andrew to stay in Champaran and help them. Alright, he thought that it would balance their fighting. It would of course give a big message to Britishers that their policies were protested by another Britisher. So this would be, you can say, a balance of this battle. So see, what was Gandhi's response? To stay in Champaran and help. Andrew was willing if Gandhi agreed. Even Andrew did not have any problem, but Gandhi was vehemently opposed. He vehemently protested this thing. He said, you think that in this unequal fight it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side. He said, you believe that this is unequal fighting. We are weak, so we must have support of Britishers. This shows the weakness of your heart. The cause is just. Our reason for fight is just. Just means right. And you must rely and you must trust upon yourself to win the battle. You should not seek a prop, a support in Mr. Andrews because he happens to be an Englishman. So how accurately, precisely Gandhi ji read their minds, and that's what they were thinking. They were considering themselves weak. So that is why they tried to find a prop in Andrew, but Gandhi read the same, that they were considering themselves infirm. He had read our mind correctly. Rajendra Prasad comment, and we had no reply. They were speechless. Gandhi in this way taught us a lesson in self-reliance, in self-defense, self-reliance, Indian independence and help to sharecropper were all bound together. So these were intervened together, intertwined together, and these in fact things allowed Gandhi to launch this mission of Indigo, and this later in fact turned out to be a reward in respect of getting freedom. So in this way the chapter gets over. The chapter has taught us to believe in ourselves, not to consider ourselves weak. Sometimes we finding the second person is stronger, give up. That's not the way. Be together, use mass power. If you are right, people will support you. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you must have enjoyed this chapter.